All right. Ohio State versus Michigan. The game. The game of the year. This game is for all the marbles. This game has huge ramifications. If these two teams, if Ohio State or Michigan loses, they're out. One of these teams loses, they're pretty much out of the playoffs. There's gonna have to be a lot of chaos. It's gonna have to happen for one of these teams to go backdoor in. Now this game's gonna have it's gonna have huge ramifications. This is pretty much the last game of this magnitude. We're never gonna have this. We're never gonna have this again. Because we're gonna go to a 12-team playoffs, and we're gonna have to face these guys maybe 2-3 times. So this is pretty much it. Now, for Ohio State or Michigan to backdoor the way in, this is what's gonna have to happen, right? You're gonna need Oregon to lose again against Oregon State, and then you're gonna need Washington to lose twice, lose against Washington State, and then losing the Pac-12 championship against Oregon, right? So Oregon's gonna have to lose twice. They're gonna have to lose again against Oregon State, and then beat Washington in the Pac-12. That will just destroy the Pac-12 right there. Then you're gonna need Texas to lose once. Then you're gonna need Alabama to lose in the SEC championship. And then you don't want Georgia to lose in the SEC championship because they're gonna put Georgia over Ohio State. They showed you that. They already showed you that in the playoff rankings. They put Tennessee at 21. Tennessee should not be ranked, but you see why. You see kind of the bias right there. They're not gonna put Ohio State over Georgia if Georgia loses in the SEC championship against Bama. So you want Bama to lose. You want Bama to lose against Georgia. And that's pretty much that's this likely scenario for Ohio State or Michigan to back their way in if they do lose this game. And it just seems very unlikely to happen. Now, before we start this breakdown, I want to ask you guys a question. Should Ohio State elect to receive the ball or defer? Now, here's an argument for receiving the ball, right? Ohio State's offense, we know it's been kind of struggling. It takes a while for them to get going. Do you want McCord to kind of be in a worst case scenario? Let's say Michigan does score first, right? Do you want Ohio State to be down and try to chase and try to catch them from behind, or do you want Ohio State and Kyle McCord to start early and just have that rhythm? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into the real analysis. So this game will be won or lost by Kyle McCord. I've came to that conclusion. I'm looking at everything. I think this team has the chance. I think this team has everything it needs to win. But Kyle McCord is the reason why we win or lose this game. As the days go by and this game gets closer, even since I woke up this week, that pit in my stomach, it makes that feeling, that nervous feeling. It's a lot of it is Kyle McCord because he's an unknown, right? We know he's been struggling this year. We know that he's been inconsistent. He's been inaccurate sometimes, and sometimes he makes those beautiful throws. But it's been kind of a mixed bag sometimes, and so it kind of makes me nervous, right? Here's the thing. I do think Ohio State, like I said, I think Ohio State has everything they need to win. They have the defense. They have the players. We have Travion Henderson. We have Marvin Harrison Jr. We have the skill position players to beat this team, to compete. But again, everything is riding on Kyle McCord, right? He has to be consistent. He cannot have those turnover-worthy plays. He cannot be inaccurate. He can't throw behind guys because, look, Michigan's defense is very opportunistic, right? I think they have the number one turnover scoring defense, something like that. That was kind of weird how I said it, but you get what I mean, right? they create turnovers, right? Guys like Mikey Standerstill, Will Johnson, those guys are going to get turnovers, right? They're really good at getting hands on the getting interceptions, getting deflections, all that stuff, fumbles, and Kyle McCord has to be accurate, right? And here's the thing, right? I think he is improving a little bit. He's finding the right guy sometimes, but he's throwing it, but he's inaccurate with it, and you can't do that, right? If you throw a guy behind him, a guy like Max Sanders, he will cut that off and intercept it. You can't have that, right? Well, here's the thing, right? Let's say if the worst comes to shove, right? Let's say the worst case scenario, right? And Kyle McCord does throw an interception. It cannot be in Ohio State's territory. We have to be. It has to be at least in Michigan's territory in the red zone. When we're driving down the field, he can throw an interception. That's not what we want, but that's the best scenario if it does happen. If it does happen. Hold on. Here's what Kyle McCord has to do. If you guys didn't know, this is more of a Kyle McCord breakdown more than an Ohio State kind of Michigan breakdown. So here's what Ohio State's gonna have to. Here's what Kyle McCord is gonna have to do, I think, to win this game. Right? He has to give me give me like he has to. I think he has to give me around like 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think Ohio State can win this game, right, without any turnovers. If he can get 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, that type of stat line, I think Ohio State has a real good chance to win this game. Right? Also, here's the thing, right? I want to talk about more, right? He also has to be extremely tough in the pocket, right? Michigan has three or four good defensive tackles, and it's gonna be tough for a guy like Carson Hinsman to really block those guys. We know he's been struggling, and Kyle McCord has to be tough in the pocket. That's one of his things. His pocket presence, his toughness in the pocket hasn't really been there, and he has to show up. He has to step up and take those hits and deliver those throws in stride. He has to do it. He has to be tough in this game. Because he's not, it's gonna be a rough game for him. It's gonna be a rough game for Carson Hinsman. It's gonna be tough for them to block those tackles. That's pretty much it for this breakdown. This is pretty much on Kyle McCord. That's it. This game is one. I think this game is gonna be won or lost by Kyle McCord. I think we have all the guys to do it. Kyle has to deliver these throws. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. All right, guys, I'm out. Bucks by 50. All right.